Do's and don'ts for the Easter weekend. Ether Weber. As sure as X is X, we are not being let out of this lockdown this week. Jeremy Hunt, who is having a good work as chairman of the Health Committee, predicts that it could be another month. Dominic Raab will chair today's Cobra meeting, where ministers will discuss the evidence available and when and how the restrictions should be reviewed. The stocktake that was meant to be coming on Monday has been postponed, and right now has no date attached to it. After the meeting, political leaders from across Britain will send out a stay-at-home this Easter message, reminding people to observe the social distancing measures imposed on March 23. Although we are all gradually adapting to life indoors by developing a healthy distance for things we previously treasured, such as wearing shorts or knowing what day of the week it is, for many of us, this weekend presents one of our first big tests, something that as a nation we now know we are not as good at as Germany. It's the Easter bank holiday weekend, probably the least helpful holiday we could have right now. At Christmas, skulking around in your pajamas and not leaving the house for days on end is actively encouraged. But the spring is meant to be about hopefulness and new beginnings, which are both a bit thin on the ground right now. So I thought I'd do a helpful rundown of what we are and aren't allowed to do. Check the weather. Normally the bank holiday is preceded by several days of pressing refresh on your weather app. This is less of a necessity now because you are not going to Hampton Court or inviting anyone round for a barbecue. Blazing sunshine? Great. Walk to your front gate and back again. Less expensive and no congealed potato salad. Giving up on that. I'm not claiming any ecclesiastical authority here, and I haven't consulted Theresa May, but I'm pretty sure that the central concept of Lent is void this year. However, if somehow you haven't cracked and already broken into the crepes, chocolate, booze, or whatever, then congratulations, you are the most self-disciplined person in Britain. You may use the rest of lockdown to write a self-help book. Easter eggs. The legal position of Easter eggs is currently unclear. Small retailers were warned several weeks ago that buying them shouldn't be considered essential. In Ireland, the police have advised against delivering them to others, whereas Jacinda Ardern, New Zealand's Prime Minister, has said that the Easter bunny counts as a key worker. However, the most compelling reason to avoid them altogether this year is that they will inevitably put you in mind of the exotic delicacy that they are modeled on, now extremely rare in this country. Go to church. There will be none of that, nor synagogue if you are celebrating Passover. They are closed. It's against the social distancing rules and may also require you to wash your hair. DIY. Because DIY traditionally takes place around the house, chances are you have probably done it already. If you're still putting it off, then it's probably something quite difficult, and I'd caution you against it, because nobody wants to be the person who electrocutes themselves or severs their little toe this weekend. It's not worth it. Put the ladder down and focus on the jigsaw puzzle. Sunday roast. This is permissible, provided you've managed to piece together the necessary ingredients. Rich pickings from the residents of Llandudno at the moment, if they fancy goat and all the trimmings. I find that these days I'm always one component, away from being able to make the thing I most want. But like many other hipsters, I've started getting a vague box. A wonderful selection of fresh produce and always delivered promptly now that Jeremy Corbyn doesn't have much else to do. Go away for the weekend. I keep momentarily forgetting about the quarantine and asking people what their plans are for the weekend, which is now a question likely to cause offense. Instead of trying to pick a European city for a mini break, the greatest agency we now have is over which room we want to sit in. All of us know exactly where everyone else will be at all times. Apart from pretty paddle, that is, perhaps we can get Derbyshire police on the case. Never mind, we won't be able to get too down about any of these things when we remember the people who don't get time off this weekend because they are working in hospitals, care homes, or supermarkets, or driving the delivery vans, or fixing the brand board. Thanks to all of you. Do's and don'ts for the Easter weekend. Ether Weber.